All right, guys, I've talked with you about this before. The way that Football Manager handles interactions with the non-playable characters, which would be all of the staff, all the players, everything else in the game, it's a problem, and it remains a problem. It's been a problem for years. It's a problem because it's so cardboard and it's so square. There's actually so little variation to what it is that can happen. If a player is upset, they can do all sorts of things to tie your hands and make it so you can do nothing to stop them from leaving. But if you're upset with a player, there's very, very little that you can possibly do. Your interactions with players are also, unfortunately, very, very limited. So I'll show you an example of this here. This has just come up. This is the screen that we all know and love. Well, we may not love it that much, but we know it pretty well. This is that training week in review that comes up where we get to go over to the players and put our arms around them and say, good job. Now, you want to do this if you have time and if you have the patience to. You want to do this for every player that pops up. And the reason why is because you want them to be happy. Why do you want them to be happy? Because morale in this game is so overpowered. If you have poor morale, your team will completely fall apart, as we saw earlier in this series. So you need to have good morale. You need to make sure that all the players are happy and that they all like to play for you and that they're good and that things are going well. That way, if something bad happens, maybe they can get over it, right? If you don't talk with them a lot, if you don't pat them on the back and then something bad happens and like a team leader or someone like that is upset, they'll all get upset with you, and then the morale in this clubhouse will disappear. Even here on the under 18s, which are all the players that I'm never going to play for my life, I'm going to go give them a little pat on the head and say, well done, here you go, have a chocolate. And I mean, this is, in my mind, the most mindless and most uninteresting part of the game. Even the guys who do poorly, you've got to pat them on their head, because look at what happens to Hwang Sung-ming's morale. It goes up a little bit. He's 31. He's never going to play for us on the first team because he's not very good. This is what you have to do. This is a problem, right? What happened? What did I just do with this interaction? I right-clicked and I told the guy, you did a good job. That's like all I can choose from. I can tell him, hey, you did a bad job when he did a good job, and that'll make him feel upset. I mean, that's sort of what the idea is here behind this morale system and behind what it is you can do to make people like you, make them dislike you. I mean, what's up with that? There's like nothing to it. Doesn't make any difference. Doesn't really mean anything, right? If you want your dynamics to be good, you've got to play well, hopefully win some matches together and give them some time playing together, and that will get your cohesion to start to move up. Average is pretty good. We want it to be over here as much as we can, and it'll get there eventually. We want to make sure the atmosphere is good. How do we make them happy? Well, we pat them on the head like we just did, right? What else can we do? We can go over to other players. So let's say we want to go to Kim Jin-ya. We can talk to him. We can praise what? We can praise his conduct. We'll praise his training and development. He did a good job. Look at that. So we can also tell him, hey, you did a good job. Look at how happy he is. He's got great morale. We could also praise his conduct. Now, why in the world would you want to praise a player's conduct? Well, I don't know. Because there's nothing in the game that will cause the player to have bad conduct or good conduct, right? So we say, you're a commendable, great leader, and then he has even better morale, and then he loves me. Our relationship is very close. He holds me in the highest regard as a manager. All of that came because I went and patted him on the head. That's all that's going on, right? I mean, that's the way that this is. It's a cardboard relationship, right? I can do the same thing here with Lee Se-young. Oh, well, he didn't have such a great training job. I can tell him he did a good job. Oh, well, he's not so happy about that, so we say, okay, well, you know best, and then his morale goes down a little bit, right? Even though his training rating wasn't really that bad. We can also praise his conduct and say, well, you are a great player, and look, his morale went back up slightly, right? I mean, it's kind of a dumb game. It really is. It's a dumb game to play. We can also ask him about the dressing room atmosphere and say that it's pretty good. Is there any potential issues? Oh, morale isn't great amongst the squad right now. Eventually, it could be a problem. Okay, whatever. I suppose, I don't know, when I look over here at happiness on the squad, I get perfect, exceptional morale from just about everybody. Oh, look, except for there are a couple of guys who aren't so happy. That would be this guy and this guy, neither of whom has played, and they're probably unhappy because they haven't played yet. So, I mean, yeah, you can go around, you can figure stuff out, you can look at things and say, well, why is this guy unhappy about this? Why is he unhappy about that? Or we can go over to him and tell him that he did a good job, right? Good conduct. You were good at your conduct. Congratulations. And this guy, I don't know. The thing is, they just came on the squad, so I can't tell them much about their training. So I can say that you have good conduct, and then their morale goes up slightly, right? I mean, that's just the way that it is, right? That's the way that this game is. We can discipline a guy for poor performance, or we can go and praise him instead. I decided not to discipline players for poor performance because I'm worried about their morale. So I'll tell him, okay, well, you had really good whatever. You have very good something or other. Bruce, let's see, we can go here and tell him that he's had good conduct as well. So we tell him your conduct is commendable. His morale goes up slightly. I mean, but that's the whole thing, right? This is the problem that I have with the game, right? When you think about what Football Manager could be, we could do a lot of other things with morale instead. We could have it so that you have, like, I don't know, an actual meaningful interaction with the player, right? Wouldn't it be great if we had some sort of specialized chat GPT or similar system within the game so that you actually talk to your player and you can ask them what is wrong, or you can try to talk them into not being so upset about something instead of clicking on something and patting them on the head for having good conduct, whatever that's supposed to mean. That's the problem that I have with this, right? It makes absolutely no sense. Why do we have a system that's like this? Even if you're going to have a menu-based NPC system, have some variety. This happens every week. It's the same thing every week, and it becomes really, really boring. Anyway, that's my point of view on this. Love to know what you guys think. I'll talk with you later. Bye.